Today at Gun Lab we're going to be fluting the chambers of the VG1 5. So we start with the barrel that's actually been turned to the outside of the dimension, the flat's been milled in, and it has been chambered. And so we designed the press, and you've seen it before on a couple of posts. The first flute we did, it actually snapped our fluting tool. We had flex on this 1-inch steel plate when we provided enough pressure to actually cut into it. On the initial setups that we did, we used a DRO to take measurements on it and tried it that way. We've now gone to a pressure gauge. Pressure actually works better on this. We've added 4 additional bolts going into the I-beam frame behind it, and we put in a set of supports from the upper to lower. Simple process. We cut grooves in the 3-jaw chuck, which captures the barrel. It allows us to come in and go out. Three-jaw chuck sits on a plate, which is marked from 0 to 350. There's 2 lockdown pins that go in to keep it aligned. We had some issues. We've been through a number of fluting tools now, so we had some issues getting this to work right. The first is the design of the fluting tool. And that took a fair amount of trial and error just to design a fluting tool on this Kurtz cartridge. The second is at what pressure. The first time we did it, measurement, we don't know what the pressure was, snapped the tool at the weak spot right here. Second time we did it, we were running at 1300 psi on the gauge, and it cut the first 2 flutes, but when it went to the third one, it just snapped it. So then we thought we had an issue on the design, so we took a little bit off, 50 thou off of the upper flute edges, ran it at 1000 psi. The 1000 psi still cut too deep, but we removed too much, and I'll show you the barrels that happened with that and the cartridges that we fired. So the third tool we have, we found that running at 800 psi was actually perfect. It cut the chambers, came back out, didn't have an adverse effect on the tool. So let's just take a quick look at what this does. Apologize for the noise in advance. Now we've set a throttling valve up here to throttle how fast we're going in. So we're not trying for speed, we just want to go in. I have movement on the fluting tool so that it self-centers itself as it goes into the chamber. And that's it, the flutes have been cut. On the original VG1 5, they used only 3 flutes in the barrel, and it worked fine, so we've gone back to a 3-flute design. The nice thing about this is that if we do other barrels, I just have to make vice jaw or chuck jaws that machine to the barrels, and if they're threaded instead of having a flange on it like this one does, then all we have to do is not machine the last little bit. So from this point, what we do is we go back into the shop, run the roughing reamer back in here to knock out the edges that we just raised, and then a finishing reamer to just give it a final finish and then polish the chamber.